Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Hello, before I go into my video, I introduce myself. My name is Aini Alfiani. Today, I'm sharing a video presentation for my final examination in popular literature. In this video, I will deliver a critical analysis of a highly significant artifact of contemporary dystopian popular culture in the film. The chapter is The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping, directed by Francis Lawrence and produced by Lionsgate Films. To begin our discussion, let us trace the narrative arc of this dark story through its 5 structural stages. The story often with the exposition, introducing a young, pragmatic, high-mythic Abernathy from District 12 as he is repeated for the 50th annual Hunger Games, a brutal second quarter quill that forced twice as many children into a addictively beautiful arena. The rising action develops as the games begin, forcing high-mythic to the negative the arenas. Hidden weaponized traps from reluctant aliens and rely on his tactical wit to survive the massive scale of violence. The narrative reaches its intense climax when High-Mythic reaches the edge of the arena and utilizes a physical flaw in the capitals for falls to bounce an opponent's lethal blow back at her, directly defying the caption's absolute control over life and death. In the following action, High-Mythic is crowned the victor, but the immense cost of his rebellion is felt immediately as President Snow orders the execution of High-Mythic's family and girlfriend as punishment. Finally, the resolution portrays a broken, deeply traumatized High-Mythic returning to District 12, turning to the substance abuse to numb his pain and stepping into his permanent role as a tragic mentor. For this analysis, I'm utilizing the theoretical frameworks of Marxist class theory and critical multiculturalism. My thesis statement is that Sunrise on the Reaping function as a subversive popular text that dismantles majoritarian political propaganda by utilizing a raw anti-hero characterization, exposing the culture of the media spectacle, and exploring institutional trauma. Now, we go to the multicultural and social issue. Moving into the second part of analysis, let us identify the core multicultural and social issue represented in this story. Sunrise on Reaping critically examines the operation of marginalized regional cultures by an authoritarian center, manifested through state sanction, violence, and institutional erasure. In the world of the Panem, the capital operates as a majoritarian culture that hoards economic wealth and political power, while treating the 12 peripheral districts as a subhuman, disposable labor camp. The Hunger Games themselves function as a brutal political ritual designed to prevent regional solidarity and enforce cultural compliance. Okay, my friend, the social issue reflects the dark historical realities of how dominant imperialist powers exploit marginalized societies to ground this in academic discourse. Critical culture studies emphasize that authoritarian regimes utilize televised public spectacles of violence to induce collective terror and fracture community resistance. The systematic harvesting of district children highlights a critical multicultural conflict, the absolute commodification of marginalized human lives for the entertainment and political stability of a wealthy. Now, let us examine how the film visually and textually depicts this social issue across 5 essential sets. First, the reaping scene in the District 12. In this scene, the text display the chilling announcement of the second quarter call. Visually, the cinematography used desaturated, dusty tones and a wide shot to capture the pale, undernourished face of the District 12 citizen. This stands in stark contrast to the high angel close-up of the colorful cover-dressed Capitol escort. This juxtaposition emphasizes the extreme economic inequality and cultural alienation imposed by the ruling class on the magazine population. And the second, the entrance into the Capitol, the text highlights the overwhelming roar of the Capitol, crowds cheering for the incoming tributes. Cinematographically, the film utilized tracking shot from the perspective of the children inside the train looking out at a blinding of neon high like advanced technology and cheering citizens. This visual structure emphasizes the social issue of the media spectacle. It shows how a dominant culture can dehumanize real human tragedy, turning the systematic murder of the regional children into a celebrated consumer product. And the third, The revelation of the arena. Upon entering the arena, the text describes a breathtaking, lush meadow filled with beautiful flowers and golden sunlight. However, the visual cinematography subverts this beauty through sudden Thai erratic cuts as the environment itself begins to poison and kill the tributes. This visual deception serves as a powerful metaphor for the capital's political structure, a beautiful, civilized illusion on the surface that hides a lethal, predatory, the lethal, predatory machinery underneath designed to destroy the weak. Fourth, high mythic, exploiting the force field of the climax, the dialogue captures high match, high realism of the arena's boundary flaw. The cinematography used intense close up on the hymatics, waiting determined fast followed by a wide slow motion shoot the exciting the force file and recoiling back into his opponent. This scene is visually empowering because it breaks the illusion of the capital's absolute perfection, showing that the marginalists can find flaws in the oppressor's system to survive. And the five, the return of District 12, the final text portrays Hymatic sitting completely alone in this empty house. The visual composition utilized heavy shadows, low key lighting, and the extreme long shoot that emphasize his physical and emotional isolation. There are no cheering crowds here. The cinematography reinforces the social issue of institutional PTSD. It proves that the trauma of cinematic operation does not end with a victory but leaves permanent psychological prison for the marginalized survivor. As we observe the resolution of the story, what does it tell us about multiculturalism when evaluated through the theoretical lens of Misui Chai 22 in his landmark book Multicultural Literature for Children and Young Adults? Chai explicitly argues that the multicultural literature movement fundamentally a political movement. Its goal is to claim narrative space for historically oppressed and marginalized social groups. Sunrise on the Reaping embodies this political movement by exposing the mechanism of cultural hegemony. Chai outlines that a critical view of multiculturalism must do more than celebrate superficial difference. It must actively challenge the majoritarian monopoly over power and expose institutional injustice. The Hunger Games does not offer a comforting, happy resolution by showing a humanity permanent trauma and the destruction of his family. The text refers to romanticized survival under oppression. It aligns with Chai's demand for literature to develop a deep social consciousness, urging the audience to critique how dominant social structures exploit marginalized groups for entertainment, labor, and political power. Okay, the conclusion from this film, The Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping, served as a profound and unsettling critique of authoritarianism, media exploitation, and human resilience with popular literature through its raw narrative structure and deliberate cinematography. The film movie moves far beyond standard blockbuster to show the real lasting cost of systemic abuse on the human soul. Its elegance perfectly with the goals of critical multicultural education by exposing the dark realities of cultural exploitation and urging us to stay conscious of the political structures in our own modern world. Okay, my friend, that's it. My explanation about the film. Thank you so much for your attention. I say sorry for my mistake. See you next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.